In the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Goldilocks, she had a choice. She had a choice between which soup was too hot and too cold, and which bed was too soft or too hard. There's a difference between freedom of choice and having choices. In one, there's a multitude of possibilities, and in the other, there's limitation because our choices are the difference between agency and being less than who we are, so that everyone else can be less than who they are. During this time of Lent, we're looking at the one who was less than he was, so that the rest of us could continue living in all of our craziness. Welcome to Illinois Bridging Awareness. I'm Stanley Smith. At Illinois Bridging Awareness, we keep dissecting and taking a look at the difference between being awake, aware, and taking action. I think we've zoned in on the idea that awake can often mean angry, and we have plenty to be angry about. It's okay. And in awareness, we can see that we have more room, more latitude to navigate. We can be more objective, and then when we take action, we can really see the difference between taking action out of a place of anger or taking action out of a place of well measured decision making. Brings to mind Annie Gramone, who's visited us on the call previously, and she brings up the topic of our natural fight, flight, and shutdown response to danger and trauma. And it creates a cycle of abuse. When we act out of pain and trauma, we're really perpetuating the cycle by making bad decisions. And all that holds us back. Last week, we had the pleasure of Leslie Dernberger visiting us, and it was a fun volley of ideas and concepts back and forth. Also, Jim Downs joins us most weeks and offers a positive qualities word pairing each week. And this week, the pairing was what captivates and being zestful, having zest for life. And in that equation, he was looking at, what do we find dear? What do we hold close to us? What captivates us, and what do we love about it? It's part of people, everything that people know about us. It's part of who we are, the things that people love us for. But we also get the notion sometimes that holds us back, that we have to be the same thing all the time in order for people to love us. If I happened to be wearing a plaid shirt, I wonder if people would still love me. Would they even know who I was? And would they think it was strange? And in all that, are we hemmed in by that? Hemmed in by the love of the people who love us? Sometimes we all need to step aside for ourselves and for others, to let ourselves and others go by. And what is it that we hold dear? We hold a lot of things dear, and we also try to avoid some of the things that we don't hold so dear. We don't hold very dear the idea of being arrested or being treated like a criminal and being shamed and being humiliated. But that's exactly what Christ did, and he would probably agree that none of those things are pleasant. Yet Christ stepped aside from himself to let others pass by. And that's exactly what we need to do. Christ died for our sins, but do we really need to believe that? Do we need to be captivated by that thought? The word captivated can sometimes mean, or the meaning could, include the word capture or holding, but is holding us back. And there's a difference between freedom of choice and free will and having a choice. In freedom of choice, we have that multitude of choices, but in choice, we have to choose between something and two choices. It comes with a lot of limitations. And the ultimate limitations are the concept of and choice of good and evil. It's definitely a choice. And with that choice come a lot of limitations. I'm either a good person or a bad person. And in that equation, we oftentimes need to be less than ourselves to allow for everyone else to be less than who they are. It's a race to the bottom. Good and evil are at least something, but in this race to the bottom, we're going to end up with nothing, not even the good or the evil. It's the opposite of a multitude of choices, and it's the opposite of God. Yes, God did die so that we can continue living in all of our craziness, but now's the time to step aside from ourselves and let ourselves pass by. Embrace the good and the evil and start to see the multitude of choices beyond that. We can we can go about that by letting go of some of our control and anxiety issues, even if it seems like we don't really have that many control or anxiety issues. But an exercise you could include is just, do something a little different today, and let something happen that really isn't the way you want it to go. You might be surprised how things work out or how they don't work out. You really don't need to like it. Not liking something is just one of the multitude of possibilities, the possibilities of choices, and it goes beyond good and bad. In the story of Goldilocks, we find out that Goldilocks is a moderate. Can you even imagine such a thing? She found a third option. We hear of people in this country who are apparently independent voters, but do any of us know anyone who would cross party lines to vote for another party? And independent or moderate truly points to the idea of a free person, but probably few of us know or are a free person. And it's the hardest thing to recognize in today's world, actually seeing and witnessing the example of a free person operating in today's world. And Christ, well, he found a third way. He was fully human and fully God. He was fully alive and dead, and then alive again. No one recognized him in his plaid shirt. It wasn't expected. Christ died for our sins, for our good and our evil. We've been working that model now for 1990 years, but it's time for many of us to move on. We can see the multitude of choices and freedom just beyond the veil. If you would like to join us at Illinois Bridging Awareness, the Illinois Bridging Awareness Saturday call is every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.